Good morning, dear children. I hope all have completed the exercise given in the last class and all have read the lesson well, studied all the words, difficult words also. Now we go on to answer these questions given on page 47. Now first one, explain how the boys convinced George to play on the frozen pond. Now what did the boys do? The boys, George said that he was not coming to play on the ice. But the boys made fun of him. They mocked him. They made fun of him and told him that you are not at all brave. You are a coward and you are afraid that you will fall down and hurt yourself. That is why you are not coming. So when the boys called him, made fun of him, called him a coward, he went and played with them. Second one, how did the teacher rescue the students? What did the teacher do? The teacher tore some boards from the fence and pushed it towards the children on the ice, and somehow he successfully managed to help the children till it reached, he kept on pushing the board till it reached the boys, and then he told the boys to catch on to it tightly, and then he pulled the boards back along with the boys. That is how he rescued the boys. The next one, did George's experience change him? How? Now George had learnt a lesson now. His father had told him not to go and play in the water because George did not know swimming. He said if you play in the water, if you don't know swimming, you will drown in the water. Drown in the water means you will die in the water without getting air to breathe. So when they had that accident in the water, George had learnt a lesson. He remembered his father's words and he understood what is the importance of the two-letter word no. What his father told him, which is very difficult to pronounce. Now there is think and answer, children. Discuss and answer these questions in pairs. We'll just discuss and then you can copy it. I will be sending you all the picture of all these. First one, he is a coward. That's the reason he won't come. Do you think George was a coward? Do you think George was a coward? Do you think that George was not brave? No, we can't say that George was not brave. He was forced to go and play with the boys when the boys made fun of him, calling him a coward. And he found it difficult to say no to his friends. Second one, is no really hard to pronounce or say? How do you learn to say it? The two-letter word, it is very simple. A very simple word, a very small word, but it is very difficult to say it at the correct place and at the correct time. Only if you learn to use it, you will get the strength to use the word where it is needed. And you learn to say it by trying to use it in the correct place and the correct time or when it is needed. Now, E. This table has some sentences from the story. Match them with the characters they are about or those who say them and the traits that they show. Traits means the quality that they show or their features. So, 3 columns are there. Words, sentences from the text are given there, their character is given and then their trait is given. Character means the name of the people in the story. First one, they did not ask him any questions until he was warm and comfortable again. So it was said by George's parents, and George's parents, they were, what is the quality they had? They were very considerate, they were very thoughtful. Second one, I can always say it, I know, I can. That is George. Second one is George was saying that and he was confident. He said that word is not at all difficult to say. I can say it or I can use it anytime I want. Third one, I wish they had put the name into the volcano and burnt it up. You remember that very big word, the name of the volcano. That was also, the sentence also was said by George, and he was being humorous. Humorous means funny, by telling his father that I wish the teacher would put the name into the volcano and burn it up. Fourth one, he tore some boards from a fence close by and shoved them out on the ice. Who did that, children? It was the teacher who did it. And what is the teacher's quality? The teacher was very resourceful. He was very thoughtful. Fifth one, he is afraid he might fall down and hurt himself. That is, John Brown was making fun of him. Mean means making fun, a very bad person. So you can copy that. Then play with the words, worksheet, read the sentence. F. It is as easy to breathe, it is as easy to say as it is to breathe. In the story, George compares pronouncing the word no to breathing, as he considered both equally easy. So to George, the two-letter word no was very easy to pronounce, just as it is easy to breathe. Such a comparison is called a simile. Simile means comparison. You compare one thing to another. That is a simile. So when we directly compare two different things using the words like or as, we use a simile. Now find another simile from the story and write it here. That is, one more simile is there in the lesson. They found the pond as smooth and clear as glass. So the pond is being compared to the glass, which is smooth and clear. G. Match the sentences with the most appropriate similes. Some sentences and some similes are given there. Similes, I told you, are comparisons. Comparing things. You compare one thing with another. First one, Rohan does not have a good appetite. He is not at all feeling hungry. So what is the matching simile in that? First one, the matching simile is B. He eats like a bird. You know, birds eat very little. So that is why Rohan's appetite is compared to he eats like a bird. Second one, please put on a pair of woolen gloves. You know what are gloves, no? Please put on a pair of woolen gloves. So what's the matching simile for 2? Your hands are as cold as ice. Because your hands are as cold as ice, please put on a pair of woolen gloves. Third one, Fiza looks very pale and weak after her illness. That means she is looking as white as a ghost. E. She looks as white as a ghost. That is, after you feel sick, after you fall sick, after you get fever, you become very pale, isn't it? 4. My mother is thrilled to get her pilot's license. So what's the fourth one? Thrilled means she is very happy. So fourth one, the matching simile is A. She is as happy as a lark. Lark is the name of a bird. 5. Be careful of these strips of medicines. 5, which is the matching simile, their edges can be as sharp as a knife. You know, the strip of medicine, the point, end will be very, very sharp. 6th one, father has a lot of work to do today. So which is the matching one? D. He will be as busy as a bee. You know, the bee is always wandering about, sucking honey from different flowers, and the bee is also the main one in the family, looks after all the young ones in the family, build the nest for them. So the bee is always very busy. Now spell it right. Some of these words can be changed into words that end with A-T-I-O-N, S-I-O-N or I-T-I-O-n. Write these new words in the second column. Look up the other words in a dictionary and write their noun form in the third column. Now, first one is repeat. Repeat, you can complete the word by adding I-T-I-O-N. So, in the second column you write it repetition. Only some words you are able to write like that. Second one, acquaint. There you cannot use A-T-I-O-N, S-I-O-N or I-T-I-O-N. Instead you can say the noun form acquaintance. Third one, averse. Averse, you can use S-I-O-N and write aversion. Fourth one, hesitate. Again you can use A-T-I-O-N and write hesitation. Fifth one, ignore. You cannot use all these three letters. So here the noun form is ignorance. Sixth one, comprehend. Comprehend, S-I-O-N you can use and write the new word comprehension. Seventh one, immerse. Again you can use S-I-O-N and write the new word immersion. Eighth one, tolerate. Tolerate, you cannot add all these letters. So there you can write the noun form tolerance. Then ninth one, conserve. You can add A-T-I-O-N and form the new word conservation. And the 10th one, define. Define, you can use I-T-I-O-N and form a new word definition. So I'll be sending you all the picture of all this. Now here we have the grammar, simple past tense and the past continuous tense. Now we use the simple past tense and the past continuous tense to talk about things that happened in the past. In the past means what all happened before, not what is going to happen, that is future. The past, what has happened. Simple past tense to talk about something that happened and was completed in the past. As soon as the school was dismissed, the boys ran to the pond. That is something which happened. When the school was dismissed, what the boys do? When the school bell rang for the boys to go home, what did they do? They ran to the pond. Now what is the past continuous tense? They show that the action was continuing in the past and had not finished at the time mentioned in the past. When the boys called out for help, the teacher was looking for them. So when the boys, they called out for help, the teacher was going on searching for them. Second one, they show that the action was going on while something else happened in the past. For example, while the boys were struggling in the water, the teacher ran to them. You remember the boys had an accident in the water. While they were fighting or struggling in the water, the teacher ran to them. Now I complete these sentences using the simple past or the past continuous form of the words within the bracket. First one, they dash home in the evening. Come. The word in the bracket is come. Come is the present tense. Now what will be the past tense? Past tense is came. So the answer is they came home in the evening. Second one, he could see that Riya dashed to her mother carefully. Here in the bracket, listen. He could see that here there's something is happening there. So we have to use was listening to her mother carefully. Riya was listening to her mother. Third one, I dashed the call when I dash. So two words are there. One is get and the other one is exercise. Get is the present tense. So the past tense is I got the call when I was exercising. 4. At this time last month she dashed with us in Hyderabad. So at this time last month what was she doing? She was staying with us in Hyderabad. Fifth one, mother dashed quickly through the narrow streets. Again the word in the bracket is walk. The past tense of walk is walked. Mother walked quickly through the narrow streets. So we end the class here, children. I will be sending you all the picture of all this. Copy it correctly in the textbook. The question answers you copy in the notebook and study. Thank you.